Australia is a nation that has been developed through the blending of many cultures and heritages. The belief of what it means to be Australian has seen many changes over time. It is a belief that differs depending on the individual. The cultural history of my 50-year-old interview participant, Mark, is what he describes as the 10-pound Poms, otherwise known as the Welsh. Mark identified to me that in 1911, the Welsh side of his family emigrated from Wales and England, seeking a new, fresh start on life, pursuing work in Australia. First settling in Leeton and the Blacktown area, the ancestors of Mark followed work in the farming industry, but then later moved to settle in Wombara for coal mining, and the family have remained in the Illawarra area ever since. Mark identified that his ancestors travelled from Wales and England, nations with already established resources, employment opportunities and quality conditions, moving to a new world living with kerosene fridges, lamps and rainwater tanks on properties many kilometres away from neighbours. And by starting out as farmers, they lived off the land, providing for themselves until finding work in mining. Many Welsh citizens emigrated from their home country for work in mining, an industry very fruitful and prevalent for the economy of Wales. It resulted in a dense population of miners from Welsh descent that extracted Australia's natural resources. Being one of the leading exporters of natural resources, mining is one of the most prosperous industries in Australia, and many Welsh workers that emigrated for mining boom established this industry in our country. Welsh traditions were not evident in Mark's home, other than what he describes as traditional meals of meat and 3 veg, but he does remember going to a Stedfords in Sydney as a child as a celebration of music, literature and drama. Stedfords are a Welsh tradition that have been passed down for many centuries and continue today, with events such as the Sydney Stedford, which has been occurring since 1933 until present day. Mark explained to me that the nature of culture in Australia has changed dramatically since the 60s when he was brought up, when segregation between nationalities and races was prevalent in his time, with differences not being as accepted as they are today. One place he felt that there were no separations between race or culture was on the football field. He believed that sport unified his peers and created a mateship between a range of nationalities. He identified that he recognises this form of mateship in a society today as a continually growing factor of Australian life, identifying that the nation has come a long way into accepting and respecting differences. Mark left me with a parting comment that the Australian idea of mateship is not only weaved through sport, but also everyday life when being genuine, considerate and respectful to everyone. He stated that this mateship is his definition of being an Australian.